Hello everyone, welcome back to Naomi's Bookshelf, and we are going to do TBR Clue for July. I am so sorry if you can hear the AC running in the background. It is like the hottest week of the summer when I'm filming this, and it's like breaking records where I live. So AC is staying on, but I'm sorry. So let's talk about TBR Clue. Thank you so much to everyone who left a prompt last month. I have added them to the jar, and we will be looking at seeing what we pull in the future, at least when we pull them for the next round of this month and going forward. Let's talk about how I did in June. There were a few trippy prompts, but we managed to evade them, and I will show you what I mean. So the first prompt in the haul was to read a book that I bought new, and I read The Odyssey. The lounge was to read a book I bought used, and I read The Mysterious Affair at Styles by Agatha Christie. The dining room gave us a color wheel, and that came up as read, so I read The Lays of Marie de France. The kitchen's prompt was to read a book between 300 and 400 pages, so I read Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. The ballroom's prompt was to read a book that was a Kindle vet, and I read 100 Quotes to Make You Think, something along those lines. The conservatory's prompt was to read a book between 400 and 500 pages, so I have put in Myths of the World, the Great Courses, as the PDF form that was with it is between 400 and 500 pages. As I'm going through this, I swear these are all randomly the rooms that are in the rooms. You saw me shuffle them last month. I promise I do not redo these. They are random. The billiards room is where we had some trouble. This is Colonel Mustard's prompt, and I did not want to just do a color of yellow, which also I didn't have many yellow books I read this month. I was struggling. So I ended up looking up information about Colonel Mustard, and I found out that according to a bio about him, he was born in India, and I am currently reading A Will to Kill by R.V. Raman, and this one is an Indian author set in India. So I am currently reading this one, and if I don't finish it, I have read Evil Roman Empires, which is all about Rome and how they did battles and had soldiers and everything. But this is my officially, I'm gonna finish this one. I'm pretty like 99% sure. If I don't, I have finished this prompt, but fun fact, Colonel Mustard was born in India. So. In the library, we had an in real life recommendation, and for that one, I had Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. I still cannot pronounce the author's name, but I did read it. So in the study, we had a short book under 300 pages, and for that one, I did read Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. So my official guest is Professor Plum in the dining room with the rope. All right, here it is, dining room, rope, and Professor Plum. There we go, no punishment. There we go, let's wrap up the other ones. I'm gonna shuffle them on camera because last one was crazy, and we will see how they play out on the rest of the board. So before we jump into the haul and what I'm going to be reading for it, I do want to say I have a separate TBR up already for all the readathons I plan to participate in July. I did find out about the Olympics one that's going to be happening at the end of July to mid-August. However, I'll be weekly vlogging all throughout the month, so you can check up and see what I'm reading and how much I could accomplish for each readathon as we go. So the haul, we have Wrong Season. I know I have awful writing. I do need to get around to typing all of these out eventually. So Wrong Season, I was like, I didn't have anything already on this TBR that kind of fit for me. However, I figured I'll put in a small one that is kind of screaming at me for like autumn, Halloween-y kind of vibes, even though a lot of people say it's not as scary and it's not as spooky as you would think, and that is The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. I have this on audio. It's like 130 pages, 140 pages. It's about a nanny who is trying to take care of these kids, and it's kind of ghosty. Yeah, I've heard it's not as great as a lot of people like kind of expect it to be, so I'm not going in with high expectations. However, it's on my shelves and it kind of screams autumn to me. So this is a prompt from my last video, so thank you. I now get to read a book that's wrong season. However, I am excited to get this one off my unread section of my shelves. So for the lounge, we have a one-word title, and I am going to use persuasion in there. This is for my Jane Austen July TBR, and this is about Anne Elliot, who formerly was engaged to Frederick Wentworth, and then they were separated, and he went off to make his fortune, and he has come back, and they still like each other, but they just don't connect anymore. And so it's about them struggling, but at the same time, still liking each other. It's a beautiful love story. It's my favorite Jane Austen. Can't wait to reread it for Jane Austen July. The next one was a Booktube buy, and this is one that I have purchased solely because of Booktube. And this is definitely a Jane Austen book that I purchased on audio because everyone was raving about it last year, and that was The Other Bennet Sister. And I think this is by Janice Hallow. I don't remember her last name. I have heard amazing things about this. Everyone loves it, and everyone loved it last year, and I can't wait to read it this year. I have it on audio, so excited to get to it. All I know is it's a Mary Bennet retelling, and I love Mary Bennet retellings. I always feel like Mary Bennet was under-examined in Pride and Prejudice, and she just was like underdeveloped. So I love it when they do her justice in a retelling. So I cannot wait to read about Mary Bennet. I should also say I'm going to be reading this with my cousin Megan, which is so exciting. Cannot wait to read it with her. So in the kitchen, we got Mrs. White, which obviously could be a color, but I decided to go to that fandom information page, which I will link down below if anyone's interested in checking out where I'm finding out my facts about these characters. And this one said that Mrs. White grew up in Scotland, but she was orphaned at a young age. And I'm taking that piece of information, adding it to my list, as I will be reading The Burden by Agatha Christie, or under her pseudonym as Mary Westmacott. So this one is about a young girl named Shirley who is orphaned at a young age, and she is very trusting. However, her friend Laura, sister Laura, someone named Laura, can see through the charms of this man named Henry, and it's about a kind of love triangle or something like that. These books are supposed to be romantic, however, they're much more tragic. In my personal opinion, I've only read one, however, so I don't have a very strong opinion. I am very excited to read another Mary Westmacott novel, and I think it'll be good. So this one is The Burden, and it's in the Mrs. White slot as they were both orphans. So the next one was random page, line, and then title or word is the vibe of the book. This is kind of one of the prompts that I was given. I've tweaked it a little so the word doesn't have to be in the title. However, it does inspire the title or the book. Now, when I did this one, I did a little clip, so I'll show you how my process of picking this word. So you're getting a behind the scenes look today at how I choose my books, because we got in the ballroom random page, line, and then word in regards to choosing a book, and I'm gonna have it pick the vibe. This is one of the prompts that was recommended to me in my last month's video. So we're going to do it off of my current read, which is, as I said in my video, or as I said earlier, A Will to Kill. So hopefully I don't get spoiled for this. So we're gonna check how many pages this is, and then I will do a random number generator, and we're gonna figure this out. 280 pages, let's figure this out. All right, so random number generator, we're gonna go from 1 to 280. Let's see how this goes. Generate, page 33. And then Page 33. That's not too far in the book, so I shouldn't get too spoiled. All right, and let's see how many lines it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 lines. All right, 28. Generate. Line 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, random word from this line. 11 words in this line. Okay. So we're picking the word now that we have to match to a title. Word 6. All right. And that word is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Upon. All right. You'll see what that book is now. So for this prompt, I am going to go with Finding My Talk, How 14 Native Women Reclaimed Their Lives After Residential Schools. This one is, I believe, edited and or collected by Agnes Grant. This is obviously the word upon, and after looking at the definition, which I'll put here, and I'll put also a picture of the word here from the book. The word upon means immediate or to act upon. And I am going to put this one here as in Canada, we have many graves being found at former residential schools, and we as a nation and also the government is now acting upon this information. And it is obviously something that we have been working through as a nation in a very big scale now, and something that has been heavy on my heart, especially now, but obviously has been heavy on my heart for a long time. I found this in my library before we were finding all of these grave sites, and I picked it up, and I am especially excited to read it now because it's a very timely book, but at the same time, it's important anytime. So important to read and impactful. So 14 women who have lived through residential schools and sharing their personal stories. So the Conservatory gave us country, and let me see if I can get that closer. This one was suggested to me by someone in last month's video, and I was suggested to put in a country I want to visit. And I might do this in the future as a random country prompt, like randomize a country, but I'm definitely gonna do a country I wanna visit being England, because I wanna put in a Jane Austen book being Mansfield Park. So this one is about Fanny Price, who leaves her family when she is, I think, 10 years old, 9 years old. It's been a little while since I've read this one, but I'm really excited to reread it. And she goes to live with her cousins as they are much wealthier than her family, and she's basically treated like a servant or a companion. She's always reminded of her lower class, but she has a strength of character that I really appreciated reading it last time, and I can't wait to read it again. I know that this is a very controversial book for a lot of people. They either love it or hate it, I think, in the Jane Austen community. So I'm excited to read it, and this is one of the group reads for Jane Austen July, along with Persuasion. I'm excited to read it again. Next up, the Billiards Room gave us series, and this one was an easy one for me because I am going to continue doing series, and this one is also for middle grade magic, and that will be Wizard of Oz. So this one I'll be reading the TikTok of Oz. I have no idea what that specific plot's about. I'm just trying to finish this series by the end of 2021. So TikTok of Oz is my next one. I might continue on in the series and do the Scarecrow of Oz, but at least TikTok will be on this one. I will probably get the audiobook, to be honest. In the library, we got Out of Comfort Zone, and this one is one that I actually went back to my Out of Comfort Zone video and found 2 Jane Austen retellings, which are funny. But one of them is definitely out of my comfort zone. I'll try to read this one first because it's so out of my comfort zone, and I'll maybe read the other one. I probably will read the other one too. However, I'm gonna try reading Sense, Sensibility, and Sea Monsters by Jane Austen and Ben H. Winters. So this one is out of my comfort zone because it's, I mean, Colonel Brandon has an octopus on his face. So this one, I guess it's kind of sci-fi. It says on the back, Sense, Sensibility, and Sea Monsters expands the original text of the beloved Jane Austen novel with a brand new scenes of giant lobsters, rampaging octopi, two-headed sea serpents, and other biological monsters. We'll see if I get through it. I don't know if I will. However, this is definitely outside my comfort zone, so we will try that one. The other one I'm talking about is Twilight, and that one is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. So I did talk about it in my Jane Austen and other readathons video, and that one is on my list because I've never read Twilight, and I'd like to kind of get that off my never read list. So the last room is the study, and we got, guess of all things, the study. I mostly wanted to have the rooms be like the characters, where I have characters in the game. So I want to have the rooms in the game and also have weapons in the game. So anytime this pops up, I can do something related to the rooms, whether they be like the dining room, it can be a kitchen, it can have something like a table on the cover, or not a kitchen, but it can have like food related in there, it can have something related to that theme. Now in the study, I wanted to do something related to studying for a career. It can be someone's, like, it can be something related to my career, it can be anything like that. It could be a nonfiction, it could be something I want to do in the future. You get the idea. It could be anything related to the room or something that I would do in that room. So I'm gonna go with something that I would also be reading for middle grade magic, and that will be Anne of Avonlea. So this is the one where Anne is going off to study to be a teacher. That is why it's in the study. So this is book 2 in the Anne of Green Gables series. This is by L.M. Montgomery. I don't want to spoil too much. If you've never read the Anne of Green Gables series, you totally should. They're really great. But Anne is an orphan who grew up in Prince Edward Island with her 2 adoptive parents who were actually brother and sister. And it's just such a wonderful series. So in this one, she is going off to school to become a teacher. Really wonderful, really recommend. And I'm excited to read that for middle grade magic. A couple other books of note is that for the Buzzwordathon this month, I will be reading The Last High by Daniel Calla. This one is a medical thriller set in Vancouver, and I am excited to read this one mostly for that reason. It's a medical thriller set in Vancouver. It's by an ER doctor, and that sounds very interesting to me. It's about a bad batch of drugs that might have been intentionally tampered with, but a bunch of people come into the ER and apparently start dying. So it's up to the police, it's also up to the doctors to figure out what the bad batch is it intentional or is it not, and more people start coming in. Sounds really interesting. Also, the Booktube Spin came in and I got my pick, which I'm really happy about, actually, except for the second one. I don't think I'm gonna do the second one. I'll try, I'll explain in a second. The first one I got was Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Now you might say, why is Sense, Sensibility, and Sea Monsters out of your comfort zone, but not this? I have read this before and I loved it. This is such my sense of humor. It is like dry, it is dark, it is witty, and it was so much fun. So I can't wait to read this again. And I'm really excited that this was my Booktube Spin. However, the other one was The Wrong Mr. Darcy, which has very bad ratings, and I have that as an ARC, which I never got around to. I think I tried reading it once and didn't go so well. So I might try again because I did get it as a Booktube Spin. We'll see. If I don't get to it, it's not the end of the world. Also of note, we have the Les Mis starting, which is the start of reading Les Mis by Victor Hugo, Les Miserables. So this month we'll be reading the first 2 volumes, which in this version, I mean, it is a little bit, but it's 500 pages, so it's not overly bad, right? You can do it. We can do it together. That's the point. And then we will do it all together. We will discuss it. It'll be a blast. I promise. I promise. So we'll be reading Les Mis starting in in July. Where's my brain going? Where's the year going? So this will be started in July. I'm very excited. I have it on audio and I will be listening to it. And yeah, it'll be wonderful to read this old classic. Everyone that I've been reading comments about It says this is so much better than the movie and so much better than like even the theater versions because it's just so deep. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And this will be an accomplishment of my reading life so far. I do have one other buddy read that I can remember, and if I have other ones, I'm so sorry, please let me know. I'm drawing a blank, and this one is with Kevi, and we're reading A Man Lay Dying, and this one's by Nago Marsh. This one is a New Zealand author, and I'm very excited to read her first work. That's at least by me reading it, and she is like a golden age author and from New Zealand, and I've never read, at least intentionally or to my memory, from a New Zealand author. So this is very exciting for me to diversify where I'm reading in the world. So yay. This also could have worked for a country that I want to go visit one day. So yeah, very excited to read A Man Lay Dying. It sounds like a mystery where suddenly this guy is dead and a detective goes and saves it. Very much like Hercule Poirot or Agatha Christie. I'm not putting her on that standard because no one needs to be compared to the Queen or Empress of Mysteries. However, very excited. While we're talking about buddy reads, I'll also talk about book club books, seeing as why not? I do have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue on the away. I have an audiobook of that, which I need to get done for August, and I have it right now, so I'm gonna listen to that. My first V.E. Schwab ever. So pay attention to my vlogs because I'll be talking about that, I'm sure. And then I have The Rose Code by Kate Quinn, which I need to listen to for my book club. And those are my only two book club books currently. I don't have another book club for the summer, and it'll just work out the way it does. Book clubs will be low for the summer. And then for the Fierce Ones book club, we have a Harriet Tubman book, which I believe is called The Road to Freedom, if I'm wrong. Anyways, the picture's here, and I'll be reading that over the summer. I'm gonna try to start it in July, but I have so many book plans, I might just wait till August to read it, to be honest. So please let me know down in the comments what you're reading for July, if you're having any fun with these summer reads or if you're having non-summer reads. Also, please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you are new here. You can always leave a prompt suggestion down in the comments if you would like. I would always appreciate that, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But like I said, you can always do that. And I will see you next time in another video. Bye for now.